The Super Falconets of Nigeria right there earning a 3-1 win over their Canadian counterparts at the ongoing Under-20 Women's World Cup taking place in Costa Rica. More importantly for the Super Falcons is that they're into the quarterfinals, and they did that in a historic feat, talking about winning all their group stage matches for the first time in the history of the competition. This is iBrandTV. This is the arena, I beg your pardon, and I'm Samson Olede. Welcome to another edition of the show. It is the Thursday edition, the 18th day of August 2022, and there's so much to be thankful for, especially for football faithfuls here in Nigeria, talking about our Super Falconets who are making us proud at this point in time. Now we'll delve into that right about now, and it's all about the Under-20 Women's World Cup ongoing. The Super Falconets, just as I said, were in action at the wee hours of today with a 3-1 win over Canada, coming from behind to record that win for themselves, which was their last group stage matches. Prior to the match itself, the Super Falconets had already guaranteed their place in the quarterfinals of the fixture, having won their first two matches with lead goals, first against Korea in the mix as well, not forgetting France in the opening game and Korea in the second game. But in the third game, you had the torrents of goals rain as the Canadians took a shock lead following the goalkeeper's Olade Oyono, who misplaced a pass that led to the goal, but they responded in fine style with Esther Oyene-Zidane scoring a brace in there, also winning a second successive Man of the Match award, or rather Woman of the Match award, showing that she's definitely one for the future and one to look out for when it comes to the goals for the Super Falconets. She scored that stunning strike against Korea in the second group stage match, and yet again yesterday, the wee hours of this morning, today rather, she scored a brace in there as well to take a tally to 3 goals. And this time around, the Falconets got it sticking early on. The first match, it was an 85th minute winner against France. The second, it was an 82nd minute winner. But this time around, they decided to make things easy for themselves, getting the goals early on. And at the time of halftime, you had the Super Falconets up by 2-1, courtesy of the penalties from Esther Oyene-Zidane, who, as I said earlier, has 3 goals in 3 games, and more importantly, has 2 Woman of the Match awards to her name. So it's Netherlands in the quarterfinals for the Super Falconets, and that is definitely a challenging one. Rather, let's see how Christopher Danjuma's women are able to express themselves against their Dutch counterparts. It's something that so many football faithfuls will be hopeful that they can go a step further in terms of dominance, especially on the back of what we've seen at the wee hours of today. Let's move away from there now and talk about the transfer market. And we'll start with the European scene, where Wolverhampton Wanderers have signed a club record deal, it must be said, for Portuguese midfielder Matheus Nunes, who has been signed from Sporting Lisbon for a club record fee of £38 million. And he has signed a 5-year deal with the Wolves, and he's set to take on, make his debut rather at the weekend when Wolverhampton Wanderers will be playing in the Premier League. Now, this is an emerging star who, shone like a million stars in Brazil before being snapped up by Sporting Lisbon in 2019, and he scored 8 goals for them in 101 games during a time where he led Sporting Lisbon to the Portuguese title in 2021. And he has 8 caps for Portugal. So in terms of top flight football, it comes with a degree of experience, although you can't compare the experience in the top 5 European leagues like your Premier League, your Spanish La Liga, your Italian Serie A, to what you have in the Portuguese league, talking about the Primeira Liga. But definitely he's one that would add a bit of skill and creativity to Lagos men, talking about Wolverhampton Wanderers. Let's move away from there now and talk about Manchester United. Yes, the club has been in the news for... It's difficult to even classify it as the wrong reasons, but the news in recent times from Manchester United have not been good. And the latest about the club has to do with its talisman Cristiano Ronaldo, who expressed himself on Instagram saying that he will reveal the truth to his future very soon. He talked about so many lies being told. As a matter of fact, the man said he was taking notes about 100. Okay, that's it on your screen. Let me just read that quickly. They know the truth when they interview in couple weeks. The media is telling lies. I have a notebook, and in the last few months of the 100 news I made, only 5 were right. Imagine how it is. Stick with that tip. In other words, we should expect a bombshell of an interview from Cristiano Ronaldo, as he has said, in a couple of weeks, where he will be expressing himself and probably telling his own truth concerning his future. It's no secret that the Portuguese forward asked Manchester United for a trade request during the summer, stating he wants to leave the club that has brought him so much fortune, and he himself has also brought so much fortune in terms of laurels and goals and historic moments. But considering Manchester United's failings on the field of play, and the fact that there's no Champions League football for Cristiano Ronaldo next season, that's probably some of the reasons he's requesting for a trade. And the latest about that trade request, by the way, is that Manchester United are now willing to let their prized asset leave before September 1st, when the transfer window ends. So it's still in the works. It now has to do with the clubs that can meet up or match up with Cristiano Ronaldo's wages. Remember, he earns a whole lot of money right there at Manchester United, and clubs like Atletico Madrid may struggle to really get a foothold when it comes to paying those lofty wages. But having said that, it will be intriguing to see what Ronaldo, or rather to hear what Ronaldo has to say when it comes to his future. And for Manchester United, this is just another sign of the turbulence that is happening behind the scene at the club, both administratively and even within the dressing room. It's just probably too much for the Portuguese to handle. Well, let's move away from there now. Still talking Manchester United, but away from Ronaldo. You have Manchester United owners, the Glazer family, who are reportedly willing to sell a minority stake in the club. Now, this comes as a shocker to so many, considering they've insisted that they will not sell the club at any means in time past. But the latest is that British billionaire Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who in fact is the richest man in Britain, is now interested in signing, or in buying rather, Manchester United. It's yet to be seen if he would make an outright bid to purchase the club outrightly, or he will have to buy a stake in the club. But the richest man in Britain, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, is now interested in buying the club, and for the billionaire, is worth $16.3 billion, and that's according to Forbes. $16.3 billion according to Forbes, making him the 19th richest man in the world. Aside that, he's a 69-year-old who owns a chemical group, or owns a majority stake rather in a chemical group known as Ineos, and he has he also owns the French Football League outfits OG Nice, not forgetting the Swiss club Lausanne Sport, as well as an investment in cycling, talking about the Ineos Grenadiers cycling team. So this is a man who definitely has invested in sports in one way or the other, and is not new to sports administration as a whole. Let's see if his interest will be successful. Remember, he made an unsuccessful bid to buy Chelsea Football Club in April for £4.25 billion. Yes, £4.25 billion. That was how much he was willing to part with to get Chelsea Football Club in May. Unfortunately for him, he couldn't get Chelsea Football Club, as that has since gone to Todd Bowley. So for Jim Ratcliffe, it will be intriguing to see how he's able to get his own stake in Manchester United. Well, let's move away from there now. Let's still talk boxing, but this time around let's talk heavyweight boxing, and it has to do with Deontay Wilder. The Bronze Bomber is back. Yes, after several days of reports that he would return to the ring, dispelling retirement rumors, Deontay Wilder has finally confirmed that yes, he will be returning to the ring on the 15th of October, and he will be taking on his former sparring partner Robert Helenius at Brooklyn Center, at Barclays Center rather, in Brooklyn. And the last time we saw Deontay Wilder in action was that trilogy against Tyson Fury, where he suffered an 11th round knockout, but posted a quite impressive display in terms of his jabs, footwork, a bit of boxing skills that we hadn't seen from him in recent times. So it will be intriguing to see how the 36-year-old makes a comeback to the ring. He's lost his WBC belt, but he still has so much to offer, and is probably still the baddest when it comes to one-punch knockouts. Baddest in quote now. That's how we use it in boxing. So it's Deontay Wilder against Robert Helenius. Yes, October 15th, and I'm sure if he wins this, he will be looking at the heavyweight division, probably taking on the winner between Anthony Joshua as well as, Alexander Usyk, considering Tyson Fury is insisting he's retired and having vacated the Ring Magazine title over the weekend. It looks like he's serious this time around about his retirement, although the WBC still needs to make an announcement, an official announcement regarding the possibility of the WBC heavyweight title being available. It will be intriguing to see how that pans out. If it is available, then you get a feeling that that Deontay Wilder will get a shot at it, especially if he wins this comeback bout against Robert Helenius. Well, let's talk tennis on the show, and it's all about the Western and Southern Open, known as the Cincinnati Masters, and it's Rafa Nadal who suffered a shock loss to Bonacourage in 3 sets, epic clash it must be said, that ended 7-6, 9-7 with Bonacourage winning the first set. Nadal stormed back to take the second and 6-4, while he lost the decisive set 6-3 to Courage. Again, for Nadal, this is his first competitive game in over 6 weeks since he withdrew from his Wimbledon semi-final clash due to an abdominal muscle injury. He's been battling with that, and despite showing signs of physical improvement in terms of his fitness, you can still tell that he's still far off being 100% fit. And this is definitely not a good preparation for the 22-time Grand Slam champion, considering the US Open starts in 11 days' time, August 29th precisely. So it will be intriguing to see how he's able to recover quickly and get back to the best of Nadal that we know, especially the one we saw at the beginning of the season, where he won both the Australian Open as well as the French Open. But the man has not made excuses. He said he would get back to working and training, and he would see how that pans out. Still talking about the Western and Southern Open, known as Cincinnati Masters, in the women's category, we had Emma Raducanu once again showing that a win over Serena Williams just 18 hours before wasn't a joke or a fluke. This time around, dispatching Victoria Azarenka in straight sets 6-love, 6-2. That ended, in fact, it was a rout of the former world #1, as Emma Raducanu showed flashes of the brilliance that earned her a shock US Open title last year. And for the British, this is definitely a good run of form going into a title defense, which will begin in 11 days' time at Flushing Meadows. It will be intriguing to see how it pans out, but she's into the 3rd round and she's looking in fine form, having battled with various injuries in the last few months.